your seat of Virasana, or whatever cross-legged seat you chose in lieu of Virasana. And then take a moment to begin to feel how the tops of your feet, shins and knees are not just here sitting on the earth, but that they have this opportunity to become a little bit more present, a little bit more in relationship to the earth under you. So bring in a little gentle, I'm going to do it with my hands, a little bit of kneading, a little kind of moist yield and push of the tops of your feet, shins and knees into the earth. So it's like you're starting to knead dough with the tops of feet, shins and knees. It's not a huge movement, but it will change the way you're in relationship with your own body, your seat, and then the earth's body. So see what you can feel in that. And as always, when we come into a relationship with something, it's not just about uniting and merging, it's also about then moving away from, making space, right? So we move into something, coming into this mutual harmonic relationship of being, so that also each part of the whole can move out into the world and express, right? Their own, your own, one's own unique gifts or dharma or purpose. And it doesn't even have to be that huge. It could be just even in that simple moment, what is here to express. So right here, as you first yield to yourself, and then yield and push with the tops of the feet, shins and knees into the earth, do you notice a rebound of life force that comes back up through your body and creates space inside your body? Maybe even the top of your skull floats up a little bit. So see what you notice about doing this very simple, kind of subtle action. And then checking it out, see where you are in your pelvic floor this morning. Are you down in the center of the two sitting bones, or have you kind of rolled forward or back? And where is center for you? And could you align yourself straight down into the center, into the middle of the two sitting bones? And as you do that, as you center down through the two sitting bones, notice that your tail releases earthwards. It wants to, right? It wants to tether you to the earth. And as your tail roots the center of your pelvic floor, your perineum rises. It rises to the middle of your belly pit, right here, this energetic hub in the low, deep pelvic belly. And that comes in and up all the way to the base of your brain. Now, bringing your hand to your heart, notice how these lower supports can help you be open but stable in the heart. So open in the heart, in the front, in the back, in the sides, in the top and the bottom. So you notice in the same way, where were you on your sitting bones? Where are you in your heart center? Where are you in the thoracic halves? You know, do you do a little pitch forward? Are you hunched in the shoulders a little bit? There's so much going on in today's world. You know, it's understandable that we're doing heart protecting, that we're doing a little collapse, or we're doing a little prop like, oh, I got this, everything's okay. There's so much going on, but honestly, it's a gift if we allow ourselves to be present and witness and hold the suffering, not run away from it. And then what I invite you to look for here in this next little alignment inquiry of Virasana is, can you maintain an open pathway from your heart, three-dimensional aspect of heart, all the way up through your throat your neck, and in towards your head. So finding yourself in a swallow. So just swallow some saliva. And maybe you can feel your esophagus. So your esophagus is this beautiful kind of slip and slide pathway that connects your mouth, which is more outer world, right? What you're going to speak, what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to, what you're going to take in to the whole beautiful digestive tract. So notice this pathway, mouth, swallowing, esophagus down into the huge and incredible being of your stomach, really. I mean, your stomach is this place that says, yes, I will nourish myself. Yes, I deserve nourishment. And I have desire, and I will take it in. And not just for myself, but for the benefit of the whole. So see if you can find that esophagus and just gently slip it back towards your cervical spine. And then those of you who know the hyoid bone is often called the free-floating bone because it's only attached by muscles and tendons and ligaments. There's no direct bone attachment. So it's this horseshoe or U-shaped bone right here in front of your third cervical vertebra. And you want to slip that bone back in and up. The digestive tract is actually suspended from it. So the moment you take your hyoid bone back in and up, you're actually also inviting the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, rectum, to yield back towards your spine, your pelvic calves, which gives you utmost support, soft tissue, but utmost support for the core of your being. Now, keeping it centered in this loop of staying open in the heart and letting it affect the mind and the thoughts. As you slip your hyoid bone back in and up, open your jaw, widen the root of your tongue, and lift your jaw joints straight up towards your skull. As you do that, can you feel also the lift of the base of your skull? And perhaps the fascial wrappings of the base of the skull up over the crown of your head and into your third eye. You can also imagine it like a silken hood that attaches, kind of comes from the hyoid, it comes back, base of skull, up overhead, and the third eye recedes in. Now, when you do this, it's not only a setup for this very important integral core alignment, but it also creates this open pathway between the heart, the throat, the neck, and the head, the mind, the brain. So softening the brain and letting the wisdom and the love and the compassion move like the pranavayu and then the uddanavayu that's coming up and into the region of the head. Sitting with all of that, inviting your breath to deepen into a sweet, soft, fluid, and deep Ujjayi pranayam. So begin to engage in some conscious rounds of the Ujjayi pranayam. Good. As you're ready with your next exhaling breath, join your hands into Anjali Mudra. Let it be a soft Anjali. So Anjali is also translated as a measurement, right? Like we're holding an Anjali full of grain and we're making it as an offering. And you are, your practice is an offering. It's an offering to yourself and it's an offering to the collective field in which we're all a part of. So hold in the cup of your hands your offering. You know what it is that your hands want to hold that's precious, that's tender, that's here in this moment for you. Good. Now coming down into Shalabhasana variation. Bring your big toes together and bring your legs together. So in this bringing of your legs together, there's a little bit of a rolling of the pelvic halves internally. So the bones of your pelvic halves, you're kind of rolling them internally a little bit and you're letting them squeeze into the disc between them. And then reach your arms. So you're bringing your palms to face your side bodies, but then you're reaching towards the wall behind you. Now press the tops of your feet into the earth. Draw Mula Bandha up while your tail reaches away. Now before you come up off the floor, nuzzle your forehead into the earth and then touch the tip of the tongue to the hard palate behind the top teeth. Keeping all of that, so the receding of the third eye, of the forehead, the receding of the pubic disc down at the bottom. Reach your crown and tail away, undulate your navel belly back towards your spine, keeping the Jiva Bandha, keeping the jaw joints and the occiput. You float everything up off the floor. Good. Now just bring your hands to the sides of your chest on the floor. Push them into earth. And then inhale, come up a little more. Lower your tops of the feet and draw your belly pit into you as you pull back, Balasana Child's Pose. In Balasana Child's Pose, breathe into your back lungs. And then we're going to come up, and if you have either a folded blanket or a bolster, I would ask that you would grab it now. We're going to come into, you know, the version of Sphinx where we use the bolster or the blanket under the pelvic belly and up to the navel belly. So we're going to do that here. So you want to either take your bolster and bring it long horizontally on your mat, or a folded blanket is also fine. And we're going to come on down. And when you come down over the bolster, and I just want to preface this by saying some people don't find this comfortable. And if you don't want to do it, it's no problem. You'll just do the same thing we're doing, but with nothing under you. So you want the bolster to be, the top of it is at about my navel, and then it's down and it's covering. And, you know, it depends on the proportions of your body, how long you are. So you're coming down, the bolster should be kind of at the very tops of the thighs and the low, deep pelvic belly. And you're going to bring your elbows to the earth here so that they're shoulder width apart, and then roll. So, you know, our beautiful rolling here. I'm always still amazed at this, how that radius rolls around the ulna, and then you push. Now, in this supported Sphinx, go ahead and bring your legs all the way together and receive the earth support up into the pelvic halves, pelvic belly. See how it helps you to draw the belly pit in and up, and maybe even slide that large intestine back into the cup of your pelvic halves and down energetically through the marrow in your leg bones. Now you're up at the top here. Well, first of all, let's go up a little more. So small intestine, mesentery, undulate it in towards you and spread it left and rightward. And then as you push the forearms down and away, can you grow wider through your collarbones? Jiva Bandha in place, jaw joints lifting straight up to your skull, base of skull rising, third eye receding. Now keeping all of that, all of those supports, and you have the choice to add on. You might choose to bend your knees and flex your feet. Notice how that feels. As you press your forearms down and away from you, keeping all the supports, float your elbows up, keeping just your hands rooted. Keep breathing. Notice if you lose something and then pause, go back and find it. Nourishing support has to precede clear, healthy, integrated action. Right? So what are we going to tap into during these increasing hard times? To be nourished, to stay open, to let the love and the wisdom and the truth unity perspective of the heart influence the anxiety and fear-based thoughts of the mind. Now, walk your hands back towards you. Feel the supports. You're coming out of yourself and into the world. If you want to go into the world, keep supporting yourself from deeply within. Breath. Walk your hands back towards you more. You only come up as high as it's right? You know how it's like in these times of physical distancing, you only go out and see people when it feels right, or the people that it feels right to see. It's the same thing here. You yield into yourself, you enlist all your supports, and you only come up and into as big of a back bend as is what aligns with truth for you. Notice if you were to collapse in your shoulders or let your jaw and your chin go. What does that feel like? It agitates my nervous system when I do that. There's like a cutting off of the brainstem. Good. Now when you're ready, we're going to let it all go. And you're just going to come all the way down to the floor. You're going to lie down, make a little pillow for your head. So hands are stacked. Or you snuggle your forearms in next to you and you bring your forehead to the earth. Again, this can be a little intense as you really receive the kind of pressure of the bolster into your body. And then if it's all right for you, we'll come up one more time. So slipping your forearms, squeezing the pelvic half bones, the pubic bones down at the very bottom into the disc, hollowing your groins, reaching your tail away from you as your belly pit rises. Krua is threading to the tail. Heart, top of the thoracic halves wide. Jiva Bandha. Jaw, occiput. Push forearms down, float the elbows up. We're going to bring the arms into it first this time. And then walk your hands back any amount. Keep breathing. Notice if you thrust forward. Come up only as high as you want, and maybe you choose to bend your knees also. And with this last one, we're only doing 2 of these. So with this last one, anyone who wants to, you might need to slide down. I always need to slide down a little bit more and then reach back, hold the ankles and kick ankles into hands. So I had to slide my body down a little bit more. And maybe I was up too high to begin with, but if your body is forward, you might just fall on your face. So you need to slide your body down so that the bolster goes up a little higher. And in this Dhanurasana variation, kicking ankles into hands, you've got a lot of support through the groins and the belly pit. And all that lower support is what gives us what we need to stay very open, expanded, wide, spacious in the heart, brain regions. Keep that third eye receding into you without pulling it in. Good. And then letting it all go. Again, making a little pillow, releasing neck, head. And then slip your hands by the sides of the chest, push yourself up, draw your belly pin into you, and you're going to use your bolster. Just roll it forward a little bit. Coming into child's pose with your forearms draped over the bolster. If it's too much for the shoulders, just remove the bolster and place your hands, arms down without it. Do a little push of your forearms and hands into the bolster and reach them forward while you reach your tail back. And then again, pulse the tops of the feet, shins and knees down like you did at the very beginning. Good. And then reach your crown and tail very long away from each other. Come on up. Shift off your heels, swing them around. I recommend grabbing your blanket to sit on. And just a simple spiral here. Bend your left leg in, take your right foot to the earth, out in front of the knee or crossed over. Slip that whole digestive tract from your mouth through to your anus, back towards your spine. It's just an undulation. It's like, oh yeah, I hug myself from within. Staying grounded through the right big toe ball, slide up, inhale. And as you exhale, spin towards the right. You can use your left arm to hug around the right leg or take the back of the arm to the back of the leg. Right fingers to the earth, yielding, pushing into earth. Stay wide through the front top chest. Same supports we've been playing with. Keep them here. Let the umbrella of truth open up through the region of the soft palate in your mouth. Wide tongue. Let the Buddhi mind, the compassionate wisdom of the heart, influence the ahankara mind, the more I ego maker. Right? We always have choice. What stream of energy, which aspect of self do we align with? Do we listen to? Good. Inhale, rise up, unspin. Uncross. Hold behind your thighs, bring your heels to the earth. Lean back, float your heels up. Navasana, stage A. Knees are bent. You could have a cup of tea here, right? Anyone who wants to go further, straighten your legs. Do you get tense in your neck, your throat, your tongue, your jaw? Are you wide through the front top chest? Good, and then hug it all in. Bend the right leg, left foot right out in front of you or in front of the knee or crossed over. Please be mindful of what stage you choose to go to. You want to keep the left big toe ball rooted. When you can't root it, you know you've gone too far. Slide up, slide up, slide up through that ligament in the front of the spine. You know, I always call it a slip and slide, that anterior longitudinal ligament. You have it in the posterior as well. So you've got two slip and slides. Slide up and spin. Wide between your ears, wide between the left and right jaw joints so that you can lift the jaw joints straight up. As you're ready, inhale, rise up, unspin, uncross, Navasana. Maybe try straightening your legs if you haven't already. Good. And then draw it in and come off of your support. Walk yourself to the top of your mat. And then as you inhale, elongate skull up towards sky. Reach your arms forward and out in front of you. As you exhale, slowly roll down, but not all the way, just a little bit. And then draw your inner thighs up. Bring yourself back up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slowly. Don't go all the way. And one more time like that. Inhale, slide up, reach up. And exhale, this time, slowly start to roll down. Place your forearms, push them down and away from you. Catch your sacrum. Draw your spine out long. I forgot to mention to have your block near you. Good. Reach your legs out straight, your arms up overhead. Slide into a Supta Tadasana. So let your feet be as though you were standing on them. And then inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Pull them down by your sides. Bend your knees and take your feet to the earth. You're coming into either a supported or on its own bridge pose. So press the legs, feet down and away, float up. And I'm gonna suggest taking your block under the back of your pelvis at whatever height you want. You might begin to feel a little bit of this kind of releasing of the lower portion of the digestive tract. It kind of gets unadhered whenever we bring ourselves up and upside down, right? There's a little bit of sliding. You can feel the large intestine, the small intestine beginning to slide away from the pelvic floor. And if you'd like, you could turn up the block higher. When you're here, you've got nothing under your neck and head, and you don't try to flatten your cervical spine, right? You don't want to flatten it. You could actually nuzzle the base of the skull in just a little bit, not to the point where you're lifting your chin up, but just to the point where you maintain the natural curvature of your unique cervical spine. And then anyone who wants to, bring it into Viparita Karani or Ardha or full Sarvangasana. So Viparita Karani is just like this, bringing your legs straight, feet up to the sky on any height of the block. And then you're welcome to lift yourself up off the block, come into a half or a full shoulder stand. Now, whichever one you choose to do, notice this bottom part of the digestive tract that's hanging from the hyoid and how it's kind of slipping in the opposite direction from where it normally rests. And wherever you are, whatever version, go ahead and count 10 of your breaths. Take your time, but when you have finished the 10 breaths, you'll make your way out slowly, step by step. If you have the block under you, you'll remove it. And then draw your legs into you. Bring the soles of the feet together into a raised Baddha Konasana. Hands are under ankles and heels. Gently yield and push your feet together. Begin to draw your feet up over towards you. If you'd like, you can curl up, bringing the arches of the feet towards the crown of the head. Reach your tail away from you. Wherever you are in this, again, you could stay down. Please take 3 rounds of the 5-5 count breath. So you will inhale your breath for the count of 5 and exhale your breath for the count of 5. You could be up in this version, you could be down, or you could even be in a released Baddha Konasana version. Okay, so wherever you are, take your time, 3 rounds, in for 5 and out for 5. When you've finished the 3 rounds, let them go. Release yourself into Shavasana. And as you come into Shavasana, completely let go of any control of your breath. Completely let go of any manipulating, making mudras with your body. And just let yourself come into the depth of rest of Shavasana. Shavasana offers us the profound teaching of letting go. Letting go of what was, letting go of what we think we know, letting go of what we know. Notice the rhythmical, fluid cycle of an easy, simple breath. That natural, easy, simple, natural cycle of breath is one of our most profound supports. Notice it. Notice it many times throughout the day. Notice what it's doing every time you read the news. And as you're ready, let that breath be a guide to, well, a guide forever, always, right? Such a great way to tap into your intuition. But let that breath move you over to your side, just like it's been moving you. Let it bring you up to your seat. And coming into the seat of your comfort, draw your hands to Anjali Mudra. Again, this version where there's a space because you're holding a measurement, an Anjali full of your offering. Holding your offering to yourself, to your life, to the world. We'll close with a single chant of Om and 3 chants of Shanti. Exhale your breath all the way to empty. And inhaling. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. May our collective practices today ripple out into the field that holds us all.